What's the deal, people? Party people. We back at it again, guys. It's time to have some fitness going, peoples. Yeah. Today was an interesting day of fitness, guys. It was a good time. It was an interesting time, to say the least. Today we're doing some chest, some triceps, and some squats. All right. Now, what you just saw was my attempt at some squats, but they weren't that good, honestly. I wasn't very impressed. This is my first time watching the playback, but basically, I did 10 reps of each, 10 push ups. It felt like I was going deeper when I was doing it on the squats. It felt like I was going deeper. Goodness gracious. Watching it back, it's like, should have. I've never been good at squats, y'all. I guess that's painfully obvious, but I've never been good at squats. But I'm trying to work on it. So yeah, 10 of each. 10 push-ups, supinated hand grip, like the hand grip that the gymnasts use on the bars, where it's like they're using the grip where the reverse grip. So I'm doing the reverse grip on the push-ups, so it's a little bit harder. And then I'm doing the dips right there on the taller bar, and then I'm going right into squats, guys. So that's what we're doing today. I think if you watch it at regular speed, you can tell the squats look different. But at this speed, the squats just look like, I don't know. It looks like I'm not going down far enough. But then again, I could just be being a little bit too critical on myself, which, I do tend to be. I'm sure a lot of us tend to be that way sometimes. Some people are a little bit too critical of others, but I'm a little bit too critical of myself. So that's the truth of that. But yeah, a few minutes into my workout, I saw, this isn't the first time this happened either, but I saw a cop car pull into there's like a fence on the other side of like some feet from where I am, going like where I'm facing right now. But they're like 25 feet away or something. There's a cop just parked in the shade there. Now I've seen cops do that before, where they'll just like kind of park there, and I just figured they're probably just like chilling or taking a break or something. I never like to assume things are about me anymore. Because if things are about me, then people will. If it's about you, people will let you know it's about you. Usually. But I don't want to assume anything, right? Plus, I ain't got nothing against the police, so I just figured, okay, taking a break or whatever. But I learned later that wasn't the case. I'll explain more in a little bit when it's more relevant in this video. But yeah, like I said, today was interesting. I'm just going, getting my fitness in, trying to do what I do, baby, trying to get it in, baby boy, don't you know? Yeah, sorry. These are good times, guys. Good times to be living and breathing and doing the things that that maybe you put off a whole bunch of stuff in the past, and you're like, dang, how come I didn't get around to that stuff? Or if I would have done this many years ago, I would be at this point in life right now, and or whatever it is, right? Don't trip. Don't trip. Do what you can today, this day, people. Do what you can. All right. It's not about what you didn't do, what you should have did, and all this other stuff. You can dwell on that if you want to, but it ain't gonna do you no good. All you're gonna do is stress yourself out. And why stress yourself out? Life is stressful enough, people. You ain't gotta stress yourself out. It's just yeah, some things are gonna happen naturally. You don't gotta bring certain things to you. Yeah, the way I did the squats was like weird too. Like I did it like in a martial arts stance, like putting my hands up every single time, like a fist, like I'm about to fight somebody or whatever. It felt good to do today. I don't know how effective it was, but it felt good to execute. It felt good in the execution, dear boy. All right. So yeah, that's what we was doing. But yeah, like I said, the police officer was sitting there chilling, watching me. He was watching me for like, I don't know. Usually they'll sit there and watch me for like, or they'll sit there like right around where I'm at. Like different people will do this, not just the cops. Like I don't get it, right? When I was younger, I used to get real offended when people were like chill. Like I consider it my space, right? You're chilling in my space. You're hanging around my space, but there's no space is mine. We don't own the space. The land and the earth is God's, people. It's not ours. We are gifted with the opportunity to be in this space and to be living and breathing in this time, in this space, but we do not own the space. You see, there is a difference, and we must make this differentiation if we are to be successful human beings, treating others well, loving God as much as we can, and treating ourselves well as well, without being like completely selfish, you know? It's good to look after oneself and take care of one's body, mind, spirit, emotion, soul, whatever. But, as far as like being selfish, I've been selfish, like many people, I've been selfish in almost every single way you can be, and I'm sure even still today, I'm still probably selfish in a lot of ways. But I try to be as selfless as possible, but it still is just an attempt. There's no such thing as like perfect adherence to these concepts. All right. So I just do my best and try. But yeah, I was talking to the cop. He started driving. I don't know if he's coming in the frame yet, but he started to drive. He went from across in the back. You can see cars driving by, where the fence is, and the cop was on the other side of that fence. And then he drove in to where the area where I am. He drove all the way down and all the way back up, and was driving real slow. There he is. He's coming up in the background. His car is, at least, and he's talking to some other people. But but yeah, the cop, he was like, we started chatting it up. I couldn't believe it. At first, I just thought, like, when they're watching me, I'm like, okay, they could be watching me for a million reasons. They could be just sitting there, not even watching me, right? But when we were chatting it up, this guy was cool, super cool, man. It's like the chillest. He's one of the coolest cops I ever met. Because there's good and bad. See, and I walked off camera because he said something to me. He was giving me a compliment. He was like, "Hey, man, you're doing good, man. Keep up the good work." And we were just chatting it up. He was like giving me a whole bunch of good feedback, and I was like, "Whoa!" I couldn't believe the way he saw me, like, because he's older than me by a few years, but we're both older guys, and he was just like, "Man, you're doing like this and that. You're not a spring chicken, but you're doing this and that." And I was telling them the real, like, I think I suck. Like, when I look at myself and when I'm doing these things, I think I suck. But from his vantage point, he thinks I'm doing good. So he was like, "Hey, man, can I?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, sure. Come on over. Let's do this together." I was excited. I couldn't believe it. He's like, "Yeah, let me just show me what you're doing and I'll do it." And I was like, "Okay, cool, man. Let's do it." So we were just like chatting it up and doing it, and, kind of got caught up talking. He's like, "Man, let's don't get caught up talking to me. Let's get this workout in." So I showed him the things that I was doing. And, for a guy who's got, some years on me, at least 10 years on me, he was holding his own, and so we were just talking a little bit, but it felt good, right? To get that positive feedback. And yes, he's LAPD's finest. This guy's cool. He's cool. You could tell he's on his job. He takes pride in what he does. He was cool. He got all that gear on. He's still working out with me, encouraging me, and I was encouraging him, letting him know, like, hey, you might see me as doing good, but to me, anybody who's attempting to do this stuff, if anybody who's out here doing what they can do, not looking at others and thinking about, oh, what should I be able to do, or what level should I be at, or, oh, I'm looking at this person, he could do a million of these things and I can only do one. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you try. And that's what I was telling him. See, you sent me right there. I was trying to show him like the gymnast progression, but I couldn't do it because I'm too heavy still. I was also telling him too, like, I'm freaking, I started doing these calisthenics things like 3 years ago or so, 3 years ago. Been doing it consistently for just about 3 years. And when I started off, I was 300 pounds, like 320. And I told him, I'm like, man, I'm still 300 pounds. But the only difference is that all that fat and like big belliness and all that other stuff I had, it's just been converted into muscle. That's it. I haven't lost any weight pretty much. I'm still 300 pounds, I'm pretty sure. So it's like we were just talking and it was cool. He gave me a good, I don't know. It felt good. Because some people might think, oh, you're talking to the police, and oh, they might be, oh, they're the enemy and all this stuff. Ain't nobody the enemy. The only enemy is that negative person in your head and the actual devil, demons. That's the enemy. Okay? Do your best. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Do what you can. Be blessed. Thank you. All right. All right.